Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
I'm the second brother. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another interesting episode. You're going to enjoy it. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Glenn. Now I'm making myself laugh with that intro. This is going to be part 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 2 of why our education doesn't work for us and why it ultimately fails us. If you've seen part 1, you know what we're talking about. If we have not seen part 1, you have to see part 1 to understand what we're talking about. Okay, because we're going to go forward now. We're not going to do any recap. We're just going to go into the part 2. And the part 2 is why we believe personal development is the bedrock of building structures. Why we believe personal. So what do we mean about personal development? You see, everybody, we know about professional development. We know about learning. I think let's call it professional or technical development. And that is what we have in Africa. We have technical development, education given to us. We have professional education given to us, but we have no structural education. And because we don't have any structural education, there's that disconnect. We can't do anything for ourselves. It's a very small, it's almost like you have a big machinery ready, and then you lack the spark plug. And the spark plug is just this little thing. And without that spark plug, the whole machine is useless. But you put that spark plug back in there, the whole machine works. That is where we find ourselves with African education right now. We have the whole big machinery ready, waiting. But we lack just that little spark plug. It's not bigger than this. And that spark plug is the personal development element. What do I mean? My daughter was asking me a couple of days ago. She was like, Dad, how do you come up with solutions in your field, like the way I watch you, the way you said, and I looked at her, I said, look, mastery. I have been on this thing for a long time. It's not magic. I have mastered this genre of business. And then she looked at, and she said, wow. I said, yeah. And then she said, wow, it makes sense. She said, because you seem to know where the problem is immediately and where to solve it. And I had to break it down to her because I was bad at first. I was terrible at it at first. Then I learned, but not only did I learn, I stuck at it. And I stuck at it, and I stuck at it, and I stuck at it, and I stuck at it through ridicule, through being laughed at, through being not only ridiculed, you know, through all the abuse that you can think of. Now, coming back to why personal development is important. It is personal development that kept me holding on through the mastery. If I did not have personal development information telling me, Mr. Phil, hold on. Mr. Phil, don't worry. Mr. Phil, pay the price. Mr. Phil, it's always going to be hard. Quitters are never winners. Winners are never quitters. You know, if it was not, that is the thing that kept me through the darkness of getting to the point of mastery. So that when people now see me, see the problem, and go, oh, okay, this, they'll go, whoa, it's special. Without that personal development, following me for 30 years and encouraging me, I will never be a master at this genre. And I will never be in a position now where I am definitely the man that actually creates structure now. I create structure from nothing. Mr. Clay. Sorry, I didn't let you, you weren't ready.
No,
but you're always ready. Carry on.
You spoke about the spark plug being the missing link in people's activating the engine. And we spoke in the first half of this, in the first part, about the fact that they didn't create the engine in the first place. So they don't know what elements of the engine are required. They might have seen the engine and they might have looked at the engine, but they don't know why one needs what at what point.
Okay, the engine, sorry, you continue, but the engine we're talking about is the structure. So the engine is the structure, so they don't even know where, and that's why we say they don't have education in. Please carry on, Mr. Clay.
It's just like the country borders. If you look in Europe, the borders of each country was put there by war. It wasn't drawn up on a piece of paper. It's okay, France, you're gonna be here. Germany, you're gonna be here. Czech Republic, this is your area. No. It was literally every inch was fought for, but with blood. So, and if you invade that country, then it's war. So in those when you have those kind of scenario, but in Africa, when you look at it, somebody just drew up the countries. Every country is divided, as they see please. And there's no historical, basis to the split. It's just, this is our area and thank you very much, we take it, So so that's spark plugs, and our parents, which we should have in a way tried to correct it by saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna study my children and I'm gonna follow their passion. And whatever passion they have, I'm gonna encourage them in that and lead them to that and encourage them in that direction. Our parents took compounded it because of their miseducation. To say, okay, you will be the engineer, you will be a doctor, so we go have one engineer, we have one doctor. Okay, we need a pastor. You are the pastor, and
nobody asked the question, where are the structures for these children to operate in? Who is behind it? Do you know what I'm saying? They completely missed that. They didn't even see that there was a need for a structure. Mr. Clay, carry on, please.
So, it's all this we're saying here are things that is so evident. You look at the society and you can see it blaring. It's there. It's glaring at everybody. Everybody can see it. But when you're in it, sometimes you can get too close to the details that you can't see it. But it's there. So our parents did not, and still today, God bless them, but they completely missed it. They missed their role in society. They missed their role in society. So it might take, maybe, and my generation has even missed it as well, in a lot of cases. Because not only are they rebelling against their parents' domination of them, by the time they find themselves, the parents are dead, and now they are old and they've used the best years. Forget passion. They've used the best years doing something they didn't enjoy, and now they are, and because they're not even emotionally, their well-being is affected. They're not even able to be of effective use to their children. So they're just following popular sentiments, because like now everybody wants their children to be footballers. So
again, which is a structure provided by somebody else. The football setting is the structure, right? So it's always and slot it into someone else's structure. Mr. Clay, please.
Instead of them as parents to say, okay, you know what? Let's build academies with our kids. Let's focus on building academies back home. They can't do that. So these things that we're saying here is very, very simple,
but very advanced at the same time.
Powerful and advanced, because it is what we need as a people. Now, when we talk, some of you might be saying, but this is meant to be a business recording. Why are you guys talking about all of this?
Do you want me to answer that, Mr. Clay?
No, you're meant to be. Yes, go on.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So many things just come into my mind straight away. Man. You see, business is actually structure. Everybody thinks business is just money. You know what? Let me quickly use this. I was going to use this story, so let me use this story. Amazon, that everybody's screaming about today. Amazon taking over one of the story of Amazon. Let's think about it. I was here and I saw Amazon start as a book shop online. That's all it was, a bookstore online. That's all it was. Then they started building the structure. But as they're building the structure, guess what? They weren't making any profit. Did you know about them then? No. Okay. So from 1 year to the next year, they didn't make any profit. So they had to borrow money again. From the next year to the next year, they didn't make profit. 5 years into it, Amazon was still not making any profit and was hundreds of millions in debt. 10 years, still, where's the profit? No profit. 15 years, no profit. I believe they broke even between 15 and 20 years. Broke even means we're now at zero with so much debt. We're now at zero. Now, today, Amazon has taken over. Why? Because they built the structure for over 20 years. You start a business today, your family expects you to be making money tomorrow. Because they don't understand structure.
And
you start sorry, Mr. Clay, you tell them make the mistake of telling them you're starting any establishment. In short, if they give you 6 months, you're lucky. If you don't come up with success in 6 months, they don't, what are you doing? They don't know what they're doing, Gary. Meanwhile, it took Amazon 18 years and hundreds of millions in debt for them to actually get to zero. That means that we this year we didn't lose any money. Mr. Clay, please.
I was just gonna say that when they were going in debt, it wasn't to buy flashy cars.
I'm laughing because that is what we do. He wanted to buy mansions.
It wasn't to build a mansion or build a home back in the village. It wasn't to look like we have now made it. So all that money they were borrowing, they were paying salary with it. They were getting the structure, putting it to very good use. Very, very good use.
So what we're talking about infrastructure, sorry, Mr. Clare, please, we're coming back to you. When we're talking about infrastructure, like Mr. Clare said, they were paying salaries. What paying salary means is that the workforce is producing something. What their workforce means that their reputation is growing. What their reputation, they still not made money yet, though. Now, no wonder we can't build any structure because we don't even know the price that it requires. So whenever we're actually looking to build it, we sabotage it ourselves. Then we look at the Oyibo, we say, they've got structure. Okay, let me go and join them. Then we look at the Indians, like Mr. Clay is saying. Mr. Clay said that those Indians, okay, we spoke about them today. Do you know that those Indians will only make India more powerful in the next 10, 15, 20 years? They're not going anywhere. That's what we're talking about, structure. But like I said, and I started with, it was personal development that will hold a human being, be it Amazon, be it India, while the thing is not producing yet. It is personal development that will make them hold on. Mr. Clay, over to you. You're smiling.
You're saying the right things. You're back on time, with it, because it is that, it's like there are no shortcut to these things. It's like that we're talking about our parents, because the Oyibo parents are different to Black parents. Oyibo parents will look at what does my child wants to do, or expose their child to millions of things, and then see what they naturally gravitate to, what they naturally, keep going back to. Then they will start encouraging them on that. They will start encouraging them on that, and they will take their time to support that child in that venture, because knowing that, you know what, it takes between 15 to 20 years to achieve anything tangible. So if you start at age 6 and all you're doing is playing football, let's use football as an example. By the time you're now 17, that's 11 years of practice, 11 years of dedication, 11 years of honing your skills. Now, just imagine that skill you're honing is actually what you actually even enjoy doing. So whether you like it or not, you eat, sleep. As a child, a child gets excited. You eat, sleep it. You're so into it. Why will you not be good in it? You tell me. Compared to somebody that's been forced to do it, that they will be beating you with cane every day.
Sorry, I'm not. It's not funny. Again, it is because of miseducation. We're not saying that people are not educated, but they've been miseducated because, again, if they've not been told why, a lot of people hear me and Mr. Clare talk. And some people are actually surprised at the things that we're talking about. And what they don't know is that we have actually spent years re-educating ourselves, self-educating ourselves. So a lot of people are surprised, like, where these people getting this from? Actually, some people actually thought that I was copying it from somewhere. It's like, I wrote a book and one of my cousins looked left. I actually wrote a book, published the book, and my cousin looked left, looked right, and said, where did you copy it from? They couldn't fathom it that I can come with my original idea and write a book. It couldn't, it's not in its reality. The only thing he could see is that, where did you copy it from? So, ladies and gentlemen, and look, I'm glad actually that we're laughing because our education is not working for us. It's working for everybody else. All we need to do is look at Nigeria. People don't want to be there. You get, meanwhile, is the most beautiful real estate on earth. And my concern and Mr. Clare's concern is that maybe that's why they're making it so hard for you people to see it, so that you will run away from it and leave it vacant for them.
Yeah.
Because trust me, pound for pound, the whole of England is not as beautiful as Nigeria in any way, shape, or form. Be it weather, be it land quality, be it mineral under the soil, be it vegetation, be it anything. There's nothing in the soil is not as good in London as it is in Nigeria. So when it comes to real estate, land, I know it will sound cliche, but we've got the best. Even, what would I even say? Even our coastline in Africa, the coastline, the natural coastline. Have you seen how ugly their coastline is, Mr. Clare, over here? How ugly the coastline is compared to our coastline in Nigeria with palm trees.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
They don't know what, it's like, it's hard for them to imagine, because they
don't even have sand on their beach here. They have gravel.
They don't even imagine that one. They don't even know what you mean.
So, Mr. Ray, please carry on.
Nice paradise sandy beaches in Africa. Africa, do you know what? Yeah. Whether we like it or not, gold is gold.
Yeah.
So Africa eventually will be the destination of choice for everybody.
Yeah.
By the Chinese, English, by blacks, whoever rules it. Because we already know that if you go to Gambia, the experience is amazing. Where they find a little space for themselves. So you just imagine you actually take over and do what is right. Yes, it might be a group of us that does it, but that place is paradise. That is probably where the true Garden of Eden is. So
I will reveal a secret now. Mr. Clare will be like, here goes Mr. Phil. Yeah, we might as well let them know. Ladies and gentlemen, I used my life as an example of this information we're talking about. I took a risk. And I can tell you that the risk has paid off. I went into re-educating myself, self-educating myself, and the result is now I am able to do what a lot of my contemporaries cannot. I will leave it there for now. So we know what we're talking about. And I'm not using it to blow my trumpet, but I'm just letting you know that this infrastructure that we're talking about, I am able to build because of the ability to self-educate myself and re-educate myself. So I'm saying that to say this: the same path is there for all of you that are listening to me right now. Have enough faith and use me as an example. Do I look like I'm suffering? Do I look like I'm hungry? Do I look confused? Do I look perplexed? Okay, so if I'm not confused, if I'm not perplexed, I'm telling you that you can pick up from where you are right now. Forget Western education. Forget what you've been told. Forget everything and start empowering yourself with personal development, with self-education that will serve you. That's the difference. Everything before is serving other people, not you. Let's put it this way. Does the education, think about it, Does it teach you to be wealthy? No, it teaches you to go and get a job. Let me ask you again. The education that you know from A to Z, is there any one of them teaching you to create a fortune for yourself? No. All they teach you, get your degree and go and get what? A job. And the person that is in a job is not the one creating any fortune. He's not creating any wealth. Mr. Clay, what do you think?
Well, even the job is not there waiting for them.
Clay always takes me to the next level.
I wish it was as simple that they would just finish education and then they will go and get it.
Oh, Mr. Clay, you're so right. You're so right. Carry on, please. Even the job is not even there.
So this is your saving grace, because just like it was my saving grace when I saw it, even though I didn't really understand what I was looking at, but I just knew instinctively. I cannot ignore this. I just knew that one instinctively. And like I was saying to Mr. Few a few days earlier, the information that I got from working this walk, being part of this personal development journey, is what I'm using. It's what's been useful to me in my life. So I would say that it might sound vague. You might say, what do you mean personal development? What do you mean? I don't know. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's very simple. And I would say drop a comment if you want to know more.
Why not? Yes. Drop a comment. Mr. Clay, sorry, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, because if you want to know more, drop a comment and ask the questions. There are no stupid questions. Ask the question. The solution you might think is abroad, but like we've just told you, you are in the best land there is on this earth, on the face of the planet. Where you are right now, where God put you, where you told God you want to be born in. If you say, where do you want to be born? You said, let me be born there, right there in Nigeria.
Some people will hear that, Mr. Clay, will be like, Mr. Clay, don't let me curse you. But carry on, please. Carry on.
That is the best place. That is paradise. You chose to be born in paradise. Now, because the individuals around you have made it hell, doesn't mean that it's still not paradise. It's still paradise. It's just the individuals, the people around you, that's actually made it into hell.
Hell. Thank you. And don't get us wrong. My prayer is that you actually take this serious, because I know it will be the doorway for you guys to actually come out of Nigeria. I want you to come and see what we're talking about. I want you to come and, yes, I want you to, my prayer is that you'll be able to come out of Nigeria, you'll be able to go to the US, you'll be able to come to UK, you'll be able to go to Canada to see there ain't nothing special. But my prayer doesn't stop there for you. My prayer is that your life is so good in Nigeria already that you will come here and you'll be like, is this all you people are? I beg, I'm going back to Nigeria. Because I want you to come and see the real shithole.
Yes, but that was the experience of those that came in the 60s.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I'm shouting. Thank you. Because, oh, Mr. Kane, thank you so much. Because just because it was still close to colonization, so when they came from Nigeria here, they were like, hey, our parents came to Nigeria from Nigeria to UK, and they said, man, I can't wait to go back to Nigeria. That's why they all came back to Nigeria. But unfortunately, the lack of infrastructural education, Nigeria has just been going downhill from independence, like free fall. and he has not stopped falling. Mr. Clare, please, sorry, I didn't want to take that one from you. You said that that's how it was in the 60s. Please carry on.
Yeah, that's how it was. And they had a choice whether to even drop their Nigerian passport and get a British passport. And most of them, 90%
Said no.
No, thank you. Now,
even when my dad was encouraging my mom to go and get British passport, is the story in our family. My mom said, for what? My dad said, go and get British passport. My mom said, what do I need it for? My dad would end up saying, you know what, I'll just get it for myself because it's available to us, and they said we can get it, and he got it. Some of you will hear that today and you go, ah! But it just shows you, ladies and gentlemen, how what my mentor always says, methods change, principles remains the same. Don't go after method, go after principle. The method once was that Nigeria was actually better than here. Then things change. Then, you know what I'm saying? If you're chasing that, you can never pinpoint what's going to happen next. But guess what you can rely on, though? Principles. That if I follow the principles, if I follow the disciplines, whatever happens, I'm going to win. Let me repeat that. People try and say, let me go and give my birth in Ireland. Let me go and give my birth in Canada. Let me go, because then it will be better. You're chasing methods. Let me go and do this, let me go and do that. Because you're chasing methods. You see it work here. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow, and that's the cycle of things. But the constant thing is the principle. The principles, the disciplines. Because once your mastery is on principles, you will win regardless of whatever happens. If they say tomorrow, everybody that is not white, that has a British passport, needs to go and deposit it because it's now null and void. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Phil will still win. Because Mr. Phil's life is not dependent on British passports. I know it will sound like I'm bragging. I'm just trying to use it to show you that when you live your life on principles of personal development that we're talking about, it becomes that spark plug that you can fit into any engine and it will work for you. Mr. Kinley.
There you go. Isn't it amazing that even now, recently, since the British have left the EU, they're now telling you Nigerians and Africans to come to Britain to study. Not only to study, but to do your PhD afterwards, which is just money for them because you're going to have to pay. It's not, but you can now come and study for those that can afford it. So they're milking.
They're milking you. But then again, you see, when
you
finish
your PhD, you can't leave straight away. No. You have to work here.
Really?
Yeah. Mandatory,
Wow.
At least 3 years before then. So not only are you going to be in debt to get your education, they want to recoup as much of that debt as possible before you can then go. So, and some people will still take that.
Oh yeah.
Because they see it as the only options they have. So it's interesting times. It's interesting times. Like I said, Mr. Phil, right beside the Chinese and the English, and they will be beside them claiming lands as well. We'll be back in Africa. Chinese on one hand, badging me, I will badge the English, I will be badging the English. Indians, I will badge the Indians, I will be claiming lands. Okay, this is my land though. I mean to have climbed. the land search will begin for Africa once more. So, but yeah, definitely something that you should realize. There's a reason why they're doing that. It's not because they love you, you know. It's not because, you know.
It's never because they love you. There was a glitch for maybe about 30 seconds. I don't know whether you noticed it. I hope it did not disturb the recording, but if it did, that's what happened. There was a point where everything just froze, and you know, it even said it was muted and everything. So if that was the case, that's what happened, and we're doing it live. So apologies if that was the case. So Mr. Clay, I did hear a lot of the things you said, but I just heard at the end when you said that they're not doing it because they love them. Carry on.
Yes. On my side, it was very stable. So
Okay, cool.
the recording is happening on your side. So
yeah, go on.
So it's just the fact that they're not doing it because they love you. They're doing it because they know what their structure needs, and if they can get the best minds, brain drain you. They're not draining you just of resources. They're draining you of brain, human capacity.
For what? For what again? For what again?
For their structure.
For what again, Mr. Clay?
For their structure.
Please, one more time.
For their structure.
Structure that we Africans don't know how to build for ourselves.
No. So it would take a lot. It would take a lot, but as long as you guys are privileged to even be having for us to be having this kind of discussion, because you probably won't hear this spoken about anywhere else. Churches, your gathering, because everybody thinks they're doing great. Because if they don't think they're doing great, then they'll be doing something different. And I think actually, you know what? One thing that we mustn't forget also is that many people are suffering from mental illness in that construct called Africa. Because of years and years of abuse of a bad structure.
Yeah.
So your mental state is not quite there.
And that is another thing that personal development helps. I probably would have lost my mind over the course of me mastering my journey, because look, you don't know my story yet, but Mr. Clay saw me. I got no encouragement. As a matter of fact, they tried everything to discourage me. From those people that said, this guy will be big head already. If he succeeds, his head will be too big. From those people that said that, to those people that said, look at this idiot. I beg, go and find job, Jare. From those people that said, he's just lazy. He's just lazy. He doesn't want to work. That is his problem. To those people, now, none of them, don't let me talk. But it's true. I went through it. I did not get any encouragement. As a matter of fact, Mr. Claire was just watching me and watching them. Watching me and watching them. Watching me. Mr. Claire had the front view seat. You get what I'm saying? On this topic that we're talking about, my dad chased me out of the house. Mr. Claire saw it now. In London, I had only arrived in London. It was less than 3 weeks. I was probably 2 weeks. My dad said, look, get out of my house. A country that I've never been in my life. Well, I was born here, but I didn't grow up here. And I packed my things and left. That means that I came from Nigeria and fought with my dad in London. And my dad said, get out of my house. And I got out of his house. Why? Over this mindset that I have my own purpose and my own vision and where I'm going to go. And it is contrary to the education of the colonialists. And because it was contrary to the education of the colonialists, my father threw me out of the house. I was not popular in my house at all. But it's now turning out that that information is what is now pertinent now and effective, Mr. Clay.
Yeah, yeah, you were not popular by any stretch of the imagination. So, in fact, you were unpopular. You can't even mention his name. It was like, that useless boy.
It could have been something.
So, yeah, it is amazing how.
Let me now ask you now, all those people that were my detractors and my critics, which one of them have any solution for anybody right now? All my detractors, my critics, the laughers, the mockers, which one? Mention one of them that has any solution right now for anybody.
We can watch the YouTube channel when it comes online.
And this is where we're going to end. Look, have you noticed? And just to expose structure again. Mr. Phil, I'm gonna be wealthy. Mr. Kennedy is gonna be wealthy. We don't apologize for that. You know why? Because the way we'll build our wealth is by helping others build their wealth. So we get what we want by helping other people get what they want. That's one of the reasons why this channel exists. And that's one of the reasons why we're working with people on the ground in Nigeria. So we make no apologies for being wealthy, but that's besides the point. But have you noticed that most wealthy people is either there's this military structure, is either they're in church, another structure, political party, another structure. Have you noticed that if they don't have those structures there, they don't seem, even a lot of the business go, it's either a structure that is tied to one of these branches. Do you get what I'm saying? In the sense that the government is awarding contracts. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So those structures, again, does not belong to any. So when I'm only impressed with somebody that creates a structure that does not depend on the church, it does not depend on military, it does not depend on what was the third one I was talking about? Politics. And it's a structure that is a standalone, built alone. Then you show me that you're an educated person for real. I don't need to see the gown and the cap, that flat cap with the road scroll. I don't need to see none of that. Show me your structure and I will see that you are truly educated. If you don't have a structure and you're in the process of building a structure, well done. If you have the gown and everything and you say, you know what, okay, let me build a structure, well done. But if all you have is the gown and the scroll to show me that you're educated, I beg. Thank you, Mr. Clay.
I think we kind of like said it all. You can keep, So let us have your comments. Let us see what you're thinking. Let's see whether we're making sense. Well, even if you disagree, let us hear it. And look forward to hearing from you. Mr. Phil, I'm out.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're bringing this to an end. We believe we have exposed why our education is not working for us, and it ultimately fails us. And what I mean by ultimately fails us is that you see the system, all the structures and this system, they will end up chewing and throwing people out. That means that job that you're holding on to right now, the day will come when they will say, thank you very much. We don't need your services anymore. and you will have to walk away from that job. That military position, there'll come a day when they will say, thank you very much. It's a position, it's not you. That political office, one day will come, you will leave it and it doesn't follow you. But what never leaves you is your personal development and your significance. Your personal, no one can take my brand away from me. I've got my brand. No one can take my brand away from me. And I can never be too old for my brand.
You'll just be getting better and better at it. It can't be sacked.
I cannot be tracked from the structure that I built.
That's right.
And I cannot be made redundant from the structure I built.
That's right. And because it's your passion, you love it.
Hey, why would I want to retire from my passion? Some of you will be getting it. Some of you will not get it. But don't worry, we're on a journey. We're on a journey. Mr. Phil ain't going anywhere. If Mr. Phil goes somewhere, he's going somewhere better.
Exactly, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. We've all said it. So if I'm here, I'm having fun. If I'm not here, I'm having fun anyway. Some people will be like, "These people are you sure these people are okay?" Read between the lines.
100%.
And see our heart, see our passion, see our sincerity. On that note, peace and love. God bless. Till next time. Peace, and we're out.